Hi all, this is Jazz. Just thought to upload something because I think people really want to know how is it going for Vande Bharat mission. People are planning to travel from US, UK, Turkey, and so many countries like Indonesia and all. I'm sitting in Redison right now. I have met quite a number of people over here. Students are coming from Turkey, then Indonesia. I am from UK. So just want to share the experience. How does it work? Because when I was traveling, I was planning to travel from London to India. I had so many questions. I had to watch so many videos. Still, a lot of questions were unanswered. So I thought when I'll travel and when I reach my destination, I'll surely be answering those questions where I was struggling to get the responses. Also, I'll upload something. So how does it work? So I traveled on 24th of July. Today is 5th August, I think. Yeah. So I recently traveled. What happens is how it works is I was working in an IT company. So I had to move back to my home country because the visa got expired. I did get it extended because of this COVID situation. The extension was done, but then I had to come back to India. So, how it worked for me was I had to register myself on High Commission India website. So, how you can do it, you can either go to their website, you can go to Air India website as well, and you have some registration over there. You can fill that. It's not mandatory though, because a lot of colleagues of mine have traveled from UK to India. They said it's mandatory, but when I traveled, nobody asked me. I think it's just to know the demand and the supply. Like, if there are people stuck in countries like US, UK, or some other country, then they can extend those flights and people can travel back. So this form has some details. Like registration form has some details. You have to mention your passport number, your name, your details, where do you stay, your phone number, why you want to travel back. So it's not a criteria where they'll select you or they'll reject you or they'll prioritize you. It's nothing like that. It's just they want to keep the details with them. So I filled that and then I went to this Air India website and I registered my not registered, yeah. I booked my flight tickets I think a week before 24th of June. It was not that expensive, it was of 400 something. I took a special seat because I was a bit scared because of the pandemic situation. So I took the front seat just behind the business class. I can get good leg room as well. So they charge 35 pounds extra for that, but I paid. So this is how I booked all these things. A few things you should carry for the hygiene thing in this situation. Carry the mask because I was wearing two masks, one and the other one. I wanted to be safe because from last 2 3 months I was in London in my room. I did not get exposed to the public, so I was sitting in my room. So but Air India, when I was traveling from London to India, it was like I was exposing towards the public. I was a bit hesitant to travel, but yes, this is how I proceed. So I carried sanitizer, I carried gloves, I carried mask. If you can get shield, that's good. Otherwise, Air India will provide the shields to you. So this is how the process worked. Also, I carried a few papers and pen as well because I don't want to share my pen with anybody, or I because I was very much aware that a lot of forms will be required to be filled. I don't want to get their pen, or I do not want to pass my pen to somebody else. I'm a bit clicky about that particular thing. So carry pens, but people may ask you there as well, share the pen, but don't do that. It's not safe to do it. Then when I got the tickets booked, I traveled from London to Heathrow Airport. There was a long queue. Everybody was wearing masks. Uh, the reason for the long queue was they said in airport there are a lot many people already in London Heathrow Airport. They want to make sure that people are safe, so they said once that lot has boarded the flight or they have gone, then only they'll allow us to move further and enter the airport. So this is how we waited over there. When we entered, then how it happened, I was given a form by somebody to help me out near the Air India counter. I filled that form. It was just a small form asking to fill the date of travel and your passport number and some signature and all. I filled that. When I went to the Air India counter to give my baggage, though I did the web check in, they said it doesn't matter because there's only one queue. So even if you have the boarding pass, you got it online, it doesn't matter. They'll still ask you to be in one queue. I asked them that I have been given this form by this lady. Do you want this form? And they said, no, it's not required what this form is for. So people will ask you to fill so many forms, but I don't think they are making any sense to anybody. Nobody's using it. I'm still surprised why we want paper. We're living in 21st century. Why we have to fill papers? Everything is online. But still, if they want, maybe some tricks would be there. Uh, the foremost thing in Air India, we all know that there are baggage limit. So you're allowed to carry 23 kg one, 23 kg second bag. Then there is 7 kg another cabin bag, and then laptop bag, and ladies can carry their handbag. But this time situation was different. You're allowed to carry 23 kg one bag, luggage bag, 23 kg second luggage bag. The third cabin bag, it should be of 7 kgs including laptop bag. So you're not allowed to carry another laptop bag because of the COVID situation. They said we're not allowing to carry so many bags. So if you have the laptop bag, keep it in the cabin bag. If you are not doing it, they'll ask you to do it. So I was carrying a laptop bag separately, so I had some space in the cabin bag, so it did not make much difference. But I saw there were few people over there who were literally struggling. They did not have space in their cabin bag. I don't know what they did, but there was a huge havoc because they were fighting at the air, not fighting, they were arguing at the Air India counter. So I think must be that got fixed, and then uh, I gave one of the bag to the fragile area. It was sorted. I entered the security area. Again, you know how to, you need to carry only 100 ml liquid and all these things. So, all these basic process worked. I still remember my boarding pass was not able to scan the security area. I was asking for help from this Air India lady, and she saw me and she did not help me. I don't know why. So you will experience all these basic etiquette thing that people may help, may not help. So my experience with Air India had been all right, but this time it was like, I don't want to travel in Air India again. Maybe they are stressed or what. But this lady was looking at me, but she was not helping me out. So, but then it got sorted. I changed the queue, and then machine was not working, so I moved to another queue and got the security check-in done. When I entered over there, when the flight, I was waiting to board the flight. They measured my temperature. They were they were checking everybody's temperature, and they were writing it on a piece of paper again. So again, the question: 21st century, we're writing everything on a piece of paper, not on computer. So that's how it processed. Then there was no social distancing in the airport, because airport as well, and also in the flight as well, because I heard that there are three seats: one window seats, one middle seat, and one aisle seat. So the middle seat will be empty. That's what I heard. But this is what was not over there. So the middle seat was filled. They gave a plastic thing, maybe you call it PP suit. It was not a PP suit, it was some local plastic sheet they gave them to wear. And I was sitting at the window seat. There was a guy sitting in middle. He was wearing that uh, plastic sheet or PP sheet, whatever you say. And then there was another guy at the aisle seat. So it was the flight was completely packed. At my seat, there were some food and snacks and water bottles, juices. Those were kept. I normally avoid to eat in flight, especially in Air India, because for me it's stale. It's not that good quality, so I avoid taking that. Uh, if you really want to carry something of your own, you can carry. But this is what they provide, which is quite sufficient for 8.5 hours or 9 hours flight to travel from London to Delhi airport. So they'll give you the shield as well to cover your face. They'll give you the mask as well. They'll give you small pouches of sanitizer as well. They did pretty all right. And I could not see any female air hostess over there. They were all males over there wearing the proper PP suit, mask, sheet, etc. So they were talking because I wanted some help, but They were sitting at a designated area. They were not walking down at the aisle, normally how it works. Also, the alcohol was not served as well. So if you are alcohol fan, you'll not be served in the flight. Then we proceed further. Also, the screen, you won't be able to watch any movies or something. So I carried my favorite books, uh, but it all depends on you. Maybe you can carry your phone and you have a lot of music over there. I don't keep music in my phone, so I carried my books to make myself comfortable. I prefer to use the loo before, because it was not that safe, it was not that clean as well. Somehow I progressed and I landed. And my flight was at 9:45 in the morning. Yeah, in the morning, and I reached Delhi airport at 5 past 10 in the night. Yeah. Oh, then the struggle started. Everything was all right, not very comfortable, but yeah, it was acceptable. It was expected as well. Oh, when I landed Delhi, the struggle started. So, when I landed, we were not allowed to get down from the flight for 1.5 hours. We were stuck in the flight till 11 or half 11 in the night. Though we landed at 5 past 10, the landing was smooth. I appreciate the pilot. The landing was really smooth. When we landed, we were waiting. There was no social distancing. People panicked because they stood up and going towards the exit area. The queues were there with no social distancing. People were literally messing around. It was uncomfortable. There was no social distancing, so everybody was touching the other person. The other person was touching the other person. It was not safe. So this was the first experience. As soon as I landed in India, I was like, "Welcome to India." So this is how it happened. Finally, we exit the plane at half 11 in the night, I think, or 11 in the night. I can't recall, but it was like quite late. When we got down, we entered this area and we were asked to stop. We were like a lot many people from the airport get down, from the flight got down. We were asked by 3 4 guys, security people or something, to wait at a particular area. Again, there was no social distancing. There was seating arrangement. There were chairs to sit. I was sitting at the corner seat. It was pretty obvious that next seat should be empty. They should not be sitting. Nobody should be sitting over there. It would be vacant. There has to be some board, or it's pretty understood by anybody that there has to be social distancing. I saw there was a lady who sat the chair next to me. Another guy sat next to her. So people did not know, I think, what was social distancing. It was chaos. I was like, oh wow. So that area was again messed up. Loads of people were there, and we were asked to sit over there for 20 minutes, but we ended up sitting over there till 2 in the night. So can you imagine? We landed at 5 past 10 in the night, got down from the flight at around 11 or half 11, uh, stuck at the airport till 2 in the night. Nobody knew what was happening. Internet was not working because I was not carrying my India number. I had my UK number, but the internet call rates are too high. So I'll post the internet ID and password, because you will see the Wi-Fi option on your phone, but as soon as you enter your number over there, it won't accept. So there's a trick to use that internet. So I'll share the details over there. I took a snapshot of that page, and because later when I was coming out of the airport, I asked somebody and he helped me out. So I'll share that beforehand. Just take the copy with you when you're traveling. When it was 2 o'clock, we asked the reason. They said there's a long queue, that's the reason we really want to have social distancing. I was like laughing. Social distancing, you can see right now, people are stuck. They're sitting next to each other. There's no social distancing. Second, at 2 in the night, there are a lot many people in the airport. Okay, maybe a lot many flights have been just landed. Maybe, but I was not aware. The story was different though. After 2 o'clock, we moved and they asked us to go to immigration counters to get the immigration sorted. I was just chit chatting with that guy, the immigration guy. I said, "What's happening?" Because I was the only person, like there was no queue at all. Immigration officers were sitting idle. There were no one around. So I asked him. I said, "Is it really busy?" They said, "No, it's not busy. See behind you, there's nobody else, and we are sitting 10 people for the immigration thing, and there are not many people around. So the process is messed up, but it's not that a lot many people are at the airport right now. They're just making it things up just to create havoc or something. There was no rush at the airport." And he said at this point only two flights have landed, which we know how to manage. A lot many flights just gets landed on this airport, but it is havoc right now. It's because of process issues. Once I crossed that particular area, the immigration area, the groups were formed, and when the groups were formed, they said for Haryana, there's a group of 20 or 30. For Rajasthan, there's a group of 20 and 30. For Delhi, so state wise, they have groups. So if you want, for example, on your passport, it has address of Faridabad, Haryana, but you are staying in Delhi, so you want quarantine in Delhi, they won't let you go. So it happened. The family was fighting, they were arguing, they did not let them. But yeah, it all depends how you handle situation, because I stay in Haryana, so I knew the passport has Haryana details, so I had no issues. I knew where to stay. But there were so many couples, so many families who were planning to stay in some other hotel. The address was not in the passport, it was something else, but they managed to get it done. When we passed the immigration counter, this these guys, the military guys, they were leading the team. For example, for I'm from Haryana, there was a guy who was leading my team from airport. He asked us to wait for him so that the complete team of 30 get the immigration done, then we can process. We were waiting. He asked us to sit at a designated area. Like they gave us the columns A, B, C. So mine was O. I still remember, good memory. We were like 20 people, 20 odd people from Haryana, because there are not like many people who traveled on that particular day from my state. We were waiting over there. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. From 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Can you imagine? We were sitting idle. Nobody knew what was happening. Surprisingly, uh, I can still remember, I felt like I'm on Ramlila ground, because again, there was no electronic thing which was being followed, no laptops, no computers people were using at the airport, which still, surprised me sometimes, that India is doing so well. Why they're not training their people? At the airport, there was announcement going on, flight number this has landed. So not in that beautiful voice of that lady, but there was a military guy who was maybe from Haryana or UP in their Tate accent. This flight has been landed. So that was pretty cute. They were trying to speak in English, in Hindi as well, but the accent was quite different. So not to offend anybody, but I think we spoiled the reputation of India. It was not the right way to announce. Like, it was quite hilarious. Then they had a whiteboard, and they were writing over there which flight has landed, what all groups have crossed the exit area of the airport. It was simply like we are sitting in the government hospital or government school, something like that. It was not comfortable. I was not comfortable to see all these things. Then it was 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. We were like asking that team leader, the military guy, like, what's happening? We landed at 5 past 10. It is 5 in the morning. What is happening? He said, yeah, we're doing it, we're doing it. The complete airport was in such a heroic situation. No social distancing. People were touching each other. They were close to each other, not wearing masks, or wearing masks just to click the photos clicked or something. Nothing interesting. I bought some liquor bottles, so the shops to get the duty free shops are open, so nothing to worry. You can buy chocolates for your family, liquor for your parents or your friends, relatives. That was opened. At 5 o'clock, we were waiting till 7 in the morning. We were waiting over there. Later, we got to know there were not enough staff at the airport. That was the reason it took so long. Nobody knew what is the process, what is going to happen at the next level. That is the reason everybody was confused from the airport team members. The last step was Okay, interestingly, my military guy said, now you'll get the test done, the COVID test done, and all these things. I was like, okay, India's doing really well. I went to the next step, and surprisingly, there was no test, no temperature checking. What they were doing was they were asking us to just check which state you belong to. If you belong to Faridabad, Haryana, they'll give you a list of 10 hotels with the rates. Select one. So, this is what they call COVID test done. I was literally laughing that this is what they say. So, I selected Radisson because it was quite near to my house and I know it was reasonable as well. So, I selected that. Then I asked, how should I go? He said, can you go on your own? I was like, oh, okay. I heard that you will provide the transport facility, but if you're not providing, I can go on my own. I can book the cab and Uber and all. So I went outside, I booked this prepaid taxi. I reached to my hotel, and later we got to know all these messed up things happened. Enough staff is not available at the airport, processes are not clear, military staff are not being trained properly. It is not their job to get these things sorted. I think the airport staff has to be trained well. People should be knowing what is happening at what